This week on Stogie Geeks Shorts, we're going to talk about smoking cigars in Cuba. So stay tuned. Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo. Welcome everyone to Stogie Geeks Shorts. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island. On the lines via Skype from North Carolina is Mr. Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Paul.
Did you see that? They kind of caught me off guard. I was like looking around, like doing stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing a show. Hey.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about smoking cigars in Cuba, Will.
Yeah. As folks know, I just got back from Cuba, and the thing is, I went to Cuba for cigars. I did go to learn about the culture, and we've talked about that. I've talked about some tips on how to go to Cuba on Stogie Geeks Shorts, but now it's really getting into the cigars. And here's the first. I'm gonna give you some tips in terms of if you go to Cuba, what to do, what not to do. And I'll start off first with take cigars your first night. You're going to go there. The reason is just some of the timing you get in from the airport. You may not be able to get to a cigar place the first night if you're with a particular tour group. And you may go to a bar afterwards. And, you just want to make sure you have it. It's kind of like Linus and his blanket. I always say any cigar trip, take some cigars with you that first night. And then eventually you'll kind of put them aside because you're going to buy Cubans down there.
Mm-hmm.
Where to buy your Cubans, I really recommend going to La Casa del Habanos. There are a lot of them, particularly in Havana, and these are the Habanos-owned retail shops. Think of these as like the Davidoff flagship stores, kind of the equivalent of Habanos. These are stores that are obviously they're owned by Habanos, which is owned by the government, but they have the best selection, they have the best prices. They are 100% legitimate what you're going to buy, and they have the best smoking facilities in terms of a cigar lounge to be there.
Yeah, how are the cigar lounges? Do they have the ventilation and all the modern amenities in the cigar lounges?
Yeah, I mean, there was one I went to at a hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they had on the giant screen TVs, great ventilation. They had flat screens had like ESPN running even there from the U.S. So. I mean, it was really, and they're really spread out. They have things like the private meeting rooms there. They have lockers in these places, and they serve Cuban rum there as well. So
That's awesome.
yeah, these are not places that the locals go to. Okay, they're more tourist places, and they're more expensive compared to what the locals are going to buy, but they're also better quality.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is they have, I think I've mentioned this on a Stogie Geek show, they have, each one of these places has an ambassador from Habanos who who works in the store and rolls cigars there. And we call those custom rolls. And I think that's what you're really going to want to smoke there because that's something that they don't export, those cigars. They're only available at that store. So it's a reason to go there. Yes, you can get the other stuff, and we all know we can get the other stuff on the gray market. But, this is something that you're going to get unique to those stores.
Mm. So what is it about the custom rolls, Will? Is it different tobacco than, the Partagas and Monte Cristo cigars that we've been smoking for years? Or is it just different priming, smaller crops? Like, what is it about the custom rolls?
The custom rolls, yeah, it's they're different. There are different tobaccos, okay? They're, first of all, they come from more of a fresh roll type of an approach, right? So you can get them, you can either smoke them now, or then you could take them and let them age which is why you haven't gotten your custom rolls yet, because they're kind of in that sick period. You can't smoke them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're different. Yeah, they use different primings, different tobaccos. Really, what I saw were the sizes. They were going more for the big ring gauges with these sizes.
Interesting.
Or the longer cigars. Yeah, so I saw a lot of the 7-inch, but I saw 70 ring gauges in one place. I saw 60 plus 60 stuff there.
And did you smoke those larger ring gauges?
And they were, yes.
And they were good,
They
really?
And they were really good.
Because I've never had a Cuban cigar that was above even maybe a 54.
Yeah.
56 maybe.
No, they have them, and they're in these stores now. Habanos hasn't released really. I don't think anything above that. I think they have some 58s coming out right now, but yeah, they have it, and like I said, they're really good. The tobaccos they get them from various farms, and there's different obviously strains of the tobacco. They don't disclose much about tobaccos there, um, but I don't know if they consistently get these tobaccos from. It was one thing I wondered afterwards. Does a customer get the tobacco from farm X all the time, or do they eventually maybe get tobacco from farm Y?
Mm-hmm.
That's something I guess I'll know from going a few more times. Right, I didn't get that answer down there.
Right. So I mean, did you smoke any different sizes from the major brands, or different offerings, or anything like
No,
that?
actually, not much. Here's the thing: I was on the hunt for all the limited stuff
Mm-hmm.
and Behiques, and I struck out.
Yeah, that was good. That was my
So
next question. If you were able to find Behiques.
no, there was not a Behique to be found on the island. They had
Interesting.
one of the rollers rolling something with some of the Behique tobacco in it, but it wasn't a Behique.
Mm-hmm.
But it had some of the Medio Tiempo in it that they did have in one of the La Casa de Habanos, but it wasn't a Behique. But I was looking for those edition Españas, those editions to Asia. I really couldn't find much of them, so there wasn't. I was so focused on the custom rolls. I mean, I did have my Partagas Serie D. I did smoke a Juan Lopez. There were other things I smoked along the way, but I was so more focused. I was so into these custom rolls that's where my focus was at each place.
That's cool. What was your favorite custom roll that you smoked, Will?
It was by someone by the name of Ronaldo at the Villanueva Hotel. Um, that was really good. I'd say a close second was the custom rolls I had out in Pinar del Rio at Hector Luis Prieto's farm, which were basically from the tobacco from that farm. Not a La Casa del Habano, but he did custom rolls out there too. And most of them are very reasonably priced. You can get them between $6 and $10 these cigars, and they're
Mm-hmm.
unbanded. So take that as you may.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was the smoking experience like being in Cuba and being in the cigar lounge and smoking a Cuban cigar? Like I'm sure that added to the whole experience. We've talked about on the show how when you smoke in different places and different environments, like it kind of adds to the overall smoking experience.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, there was some of them are more modern than some of the other La Casa del Habanos, but each of them have a little bit of the history in there, and you'll see pictures like of the King of Spain in there, or Charlie Chaplin's come in some of these places.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, the place where I got the Renato custom roll, just it had this old feel to it, which I really really liked. And in terms of it's a lot of tourists that come in there. So I mean, I know there was this French woman and her fiance came in that we were just chatting. We just started a conversation with, and they were looking to buy cigars for a gift for someone to take back, and
Mm-hmm.
we ended up steering them to the custom rolls, and we also steered them to some Monte Cristos as well. Just it was kind of like this. That kind of reminded me of the U.S. experience there.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Well, that's really, and it's interesting how they can serve alcohol. I wonder, are those government run lounges?
yeah, they're
I gotcha.
government. Yeah, they're government round. They can run. They could serve alcohol, and I think I've mentioned at some point on one of these Stogie Geeks things that's my fear of as Cuba gets opened up for the U.S. and some of the companies come in, will we start to see more restrictions? I mean, it's something that was the first thing on my mind with this, as I didn't see the U.S. influence. And once we come in, are we going to start saying no, we can't smoke there? There are some restrictions of where you could smoke in Cuba. It's not totally open, but it's probably the most smoker-friendly place I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have a lot of signs there that instead of the red line through the cigarette or the cigar, it has a green green circle. So
Mm.
yeah,
Interesting. No,
yeah,
that's really cool. Um, so I can't wait to smoke the custom rolls that you brought back because you've been raving about those.
yep, yeah. You have some Partagas ones as well. Yep, so you'll definitely like that. Here's the other thing: don't buy anything on the street.
Mm,
In fact, right outside the Partagas factory, they
mm-hmm.
were selling fakes. So don't buy anything on the street that you'll be wasting your money, especially if you're a cigar enthusiast and you're listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think you already know that pretty
Right,
much. I
right.
think it's given. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth to pay the extra money.
Exactly, exactly. But you're not gonna pay that much. The La Casa de Habanos, to be honest with you, I would love to just go on a week and just spend a week in these places for a whole
Mm,
week. I would be, and then go back to a villa or a hotel at night and smoke.
right,
That would
right.
be my ideal Cuba experience. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Well, hopefully we get more information about your trip to Cuba, Will,
yep,
and others who visit as their regular trips to Cuba now for cigar enthusiasts. And of course, it's a cigar-friendly place. I mean, that's what Cuba's known for is their cigars. So,
yep.
very interesting information. I want to thank everyone for watching Stogie Geeks Shorts. Thanks to Will for all his updates on his trip to Cuba. Make sure you check out the Stogie Geeks Show every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, StogieGeeks.com/live to watch us live. Visit cigar-coop.com for all the latest cigar news and reviews. Thanks for watching.